Okay, now I see why people pay such good money for these appliances and why they simply have such a good reputation. I was expecting this machine's design to be an absolute pig to strip down, or at least get to the motor in the bottom of it, because you can't really take the back panel off, it's all one piece. Didn't take me long to figure this one out. That wasn't actually a top panel retainer, that's a hinge. I found one on the bottom as well, which was a bit odd if it was a case of undoing two retainers and lifting the front panel up and out like you do on some appliances. You can tell I've never worked on one of these before. In fact, it's actually 4 screws. Close the door again. A little latch in the bottom. And the whole lot opens up for servicing. That's actually a really good design. You can change the lamp. There's even a little wiring diagram tucked in there. You can get to the door latch assembly, whatever the hell that is, without any problems. There's a motor down there. A lot of dust to clean out. But that's why I'm doing this. That's what I don't trust about these old dryers, is the amount of dust that builds up in them. Yeah. Where's the heating element? I think that's up behind there. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's why I don't like too much dust in them, because it does intake its air from inside this cabinet. Oh, well, it's a good opportunity to clean it all. But there's an element in there. I still don't know what this band is on the outside of the drum, unless there are elements in here. This 2 rails, there's one rail connected to the inner layer there, and there's one rail here which is grounded by that strap. So someone could tell me what those are, it'd be much appreciated. Electronic control box of some description, might be a motor speed controller. Hopefully it's not something complicated like that. It's only a damn dryer, so it shouldn't need multi-speed. It should just be 1 speed, and the belt reduction does everything else. If it was a washing machine, yeah, you get a box which controls motor speed. Either way, I'm going to get the vacuum cleaner over there and suck up most of this dirt. I'm being careful around here because it's static, but still, it looks pretty damn robust. And that's the filter housing that goes in there. Biggest problem I found was that this is busted. It's just been sucking dust in through here and just depositing it through the rest of the cabinet. Probably for a very long time. I don't think it's a major issue. The major issue is that the drum motor's failed. But I can pull all this off, pull this whole front panel off, apart from the steel which supports the drum itself. I don't have to disturb that. And I should be able to undo these screws and pull the whole blower and everything out. Just pull all this ductwork apart, clean it, assuming the motor's alright, but I don't want to work on this thing whilst it's a hay fever hazard at the moment. That's one thing that gets me is not plant dust, but grass seed dust, grass pollen, and just dust like that. Like really nasty cotton dust and polyester dust. Polyester's not so bad, but cotton and wool. Wool is the worst for me. Wool and cats. Wool, cats and grass seed dust, grass pollen, that sort of stuff. I get really bad hay fever. I'm getting the sniffles just thinking about it, damn it. That's never a good thing. And that light bulb is absolutely fried. Yep, she's loose. You can see the filament falling around inside it. Oh, I'll find something that fits that. Maybe a microwave bulb. Alright, we've got the front panel off. Or at least the plastic air duct and everything. Same with that lower tube. I've got to vac all that crud out of there. That all came off fairly easy. There's a hell of a lot of dust in this machine. It's seen some pretty heavy use, but it's a very heavy duty machine to begin with. If the motor turns, that's fine. I just don't think it's getting any power. The windings look nice and bright and they're not black or damaged, but I haven't had a close look at it yet, so I'll get a closer look at it and then I'll see if I can find the run capacitor or whatever feeds it and just put power straight to it. I've got a feeling it's not getting power at all. Could be... that's a temperature switch there. I've just got to work out the wiring on this thing. I'm going to have to pull this diagram out and have a look. I've got a feeling the relay that turns the fan on is in here. And if this whole block's gone, then it's going to be a pretty expensive item, assuming they still sell them. In which case I'll just can the unit, hot wire it and do something fun with it. Because yeah, we could make this thing spin up pretty fast if I wanted to. Replace that motor with the universal one, and then in a little sort of go into orbit. This seal will come out fairly easy too. If it is fixable, I'll try and find another one of these rubber seals. That should just come out from the outside and you can fit a new one in there. So I think that's half the reason there's so much dust in there. Someone's ripped this off at one stage and it's just been pulling raw dust through everything rather than getting caught by the lint filter. But yeah, those windings look fairly healthy. You probably can't see it, but I can. They're not blackened. Probably run cap, or it's just not getting voltage at all, I'd say. Okay, we've got the fan motor assembly out. As I said before, the windings look nice and fresh. The belts and everything work. The V-belt's a bit perished and noisy, but that's not too bad. There's a little Continental Tyre and Rubber Company. Pretty overkill for a clothes dryer, but I guess they wanted maximum horsepower with the double reduction. Yeah, it's going from, I don't know, 3/4 inch to 1 inch. Problem's not immediately obvious, but if you look closely at that cap you can see the top sticking up a little bit more. See, these have a little concertina type ring around the top. They're supposed to look fairly compressed like that bit, but this one's had a bit of pressure build up inside it and it's actually lifted the top off. Well, started to anyway. Same with the bottom cap, it's bulging out a little bit. I'd say if I replace that little run capacitor, this thing will work again. It is 12 microfarad, 450 volt. Should have one of them around. And they seem to be plus or minus 10%. So in theory a 15 microfarad or even an 8 microfarad will do just fine. So see if I got a 12 or 11 or whatever, close enough, good enough. That's the problem. Looks like run capacitor's blown. I'll try and run it as it is. I'll just plug it in and leave it at the bottom of the cabinet and see how we go. This thing should start up as it is. As long as the door stays shut and switches and everything are right, it will run as it is. So here's for hoping it'll work. Okay, there's a good comparison between damaged and healthy. I think these ones are designed to decouple one of the terminals once the top lifts up. That way you avoid a capacitor explosion. Also explains why the motor just went open circuit rather than sitting on its start winding trying to start and burning up. Made by the same manufacturer too. This one's a new old stock out of a Danfoss compressor, and this one here is out of the Miele motor. So yes, it can go in the rubbish bin. And that one there has got to put better terminals on it. Well, spade terminals. This was hardwired to a lead set, but I can change that. It had a metal cap with a lead coming out of it, but you can remove those and modify them accordingly. Alright, just about dinner time, but do or die for this motor. Got a good capacitor on it that's not open circuit. It should work. We plugged in. Oh, no, we're not turned on. Hang on. Power on. That's better. Aha! We can fix this one. Good. I'll do the rest of it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Alright, well, got a little bit carried away cleaning it up last night, but the blower works. Originally I was going to do all this tonight, but curiosity got the better of me. I wasn't going to let it just sit here without knowing what was wrong with it. So yeah, I figured that out last night. Thanks to the half dozen people who told me that these are for moisture sensing. I realise that now, hence why it's a computer controlled unit. Yeah, the felt seal around the drum isn't too bad, but again I could probably spend a fortune fixing this thing up. They only want it for a little while. I'll probably end up with it again afterwards, and I can do it then if it's a problem. But overall, it's a very solid unit. I did look up the price of some of the parts. They are still available and they're expensive as hell, so I'm going to stick with what I've got. Couldn't find a light bulb for it. I think I microwaved all my little microwave light bulbs. Hell, isn't that what you're supposed to do? It comes out of a microwave. Surely it should go inside the cabinet when you push the on button. Unfortunately, I dropped the old one, but it's it says 15 watts maximum, so I only really need a 5 watter. This doesn't go out until Friday, Saturday. Maybe even Sunday, actually. I think lady who wants to borrow it will come and pick it up, but I'm going to give it a good run anyway, just to proof test it, make sure the element's right, make sure it's safe, all that sort of jazz. Just as you should do with any kind of trash pick appliance before you pass it on to a customer who doesn't have the training and safe or knowledge that you do. Just give it a really good run. Only thing I'm spewing about is that this broke apart as I was pushing it in. It's just brittle. So I might cover that with something so you don't get large objects going down into the blower. Not that there would be any, it's just, yeah, aesthetics anyway. So, yeah, we'll get the front panel closed up and give it a test run. I like that. It's a door style, much easier than the Australian ones. Okay, moment of truth time. There we go. Little puff of dust out the exhaust, but that's alright. We'll give it time to settle any dust and crap in the system. It smells like hot dust now because I blew the heating element back down. It's like any excess dust that would have gotten in there when I first ran it. So it's going to take a bit to burn any of that crap off. Hopefully the element hangs in there. It's warm though. Getting hotter. Yeah. Different models and things. Bit of vibration. I think I made the brushes on the drum jump or something. Don't know. Smells hot, but it's just got to burn off any loose dust that I left in the cabinet. That's the only problem with disturbing it like this. Oh, it's nice and hot in here. Not a bad thing, but you can see some clods of dust and crap that's just come through the element. Oh, hang on, I know what I've done. You bloody idiot, you didn't put the drive belt back on. Now I've got to open the damn thing up again. Oh, it's only a couple of screws and you can just reach around behind the ductwork and stuff the belt back on. I'm thinking, hang on, how come that dust is still stuck in front of the drum? It's because the damn drum's not turning, you idiot. Ah, well. This is what test run's for. Ah, brain, how could you let me do something like this? Shut up, Ed, I had nothing to do with this. Damn right you didn't. Alright, test run 2.0. That sounds better. I can hear the drum moving now. I was wondering why it was so quiet. Why are you cutting out? Unless it's part of its little cycle thingy. I don't know. Mind you, it did it last time. It just ran for about 15 seconds and then stopped momentarily and then resumed. Let's see what it does. Well, I threw some work shirts in there that have just come out of the wash, so it seems to be working fine. Yeah, almost dry actually. It's only been in there about 5 minutes, but these super thin high vis seem to dry very quickly. Anyway, the spin cycle on my old GE washing machine is so fast it gets most of the water out to start with. Not like some washing machines, they just seem to leave them soggy. It still does this little pause thing after about 15 seconds though. It'll just stop the drum, pause for like half a second and then start again and runs fine. Odd. I'll test run it. If anything exciting happens, I'll do another video. This one can go online. Thanks for watching. I just realised what the extra wires on the motor's for. that start-stop is actually reverse. Well, actually, it was even my dad that told me that one. He said he's seen some start, stop and reverse. So, yeah. Overcomplicated dryers. Little brush assembly. It's fairly stable. And yeah, those brushes and slip rings are for moisture detection. There's a second load in there, so you can do its thing. Yeah, there we go. Reverse. It's actually really stable. That bottom assembly's flexing, but it's not going to fall over. I'll keep an eye on it. I've got to transform it to autopsy.